Am I the a-hole for calling out my cousin for using my photos without permission to catfish someone? I am a 28 female living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I recently found out that my cousin, Brianna, a 26 female, has been using my photos to catfish people online. It's blown up into a massive family drama, and now I'm being accused of overreacting for calling her out. But honestly, I feel like I'm losing my mind over this. To give you some backstory, Brianna and I grew up pretty close. She's my mom's sister's daughter, and we spent a lot of time together as kids. But as we got older, I started noticing how competitive she was, especially when it came to appearances. I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but I've always been more into fashion and makeup, and I love photography. Brianna, on the other hand, was never really interested in that stuff, which is totally fine. The problem is, she's always had this weird habit of making snide comments about how lucky I am to be photogenic or how I must have it easy because people compliment my pictures. Still, I never thought it was a big deal. She's family, and I've always tried to be supportive. I even helped her set up her Instagram a few years ago and showed her how to take better photos. Little did I know, that was a huge mistake. A few weeks ago, one of my coworkers, Jenna, pulled me aside at work. "Hey, Mia," she said, looking concerned. "Can I ask you something weird?" "Sure," I said, confused. "Do you have a Tinder profile?" I laughed. "No, I've been in a relationship for 3 years." "Why?" She hesitated, then showed me her phone. There, staring back at me, was my face. It was one of my photos, an old selfie I'd posted on Instagram, but it was attached to some random name, Chloe, 25. My stomach dropped. "Where did you find this?" "One of my friends matched with her," Jenna explained. "He thought it was you and asked if I knew you." I told him it couldn't be, but I figured I'd check. I didn't know what to say. I thanked Jenna and promised to look into it, but inside, I was freaking out. Who the HLL was using my pictures to catfish people? At first, I thought it might be some random stranger, but then I remembered something. The photo they used wasn't just from my Instagram. It was one I'd sent to my family group chat months ago. That's when it hit me, Brianna. She was the only person I could think of who had access to that photo outside of social media. I didn't want to believe it, but I had to know for sure. I called Brianna that night. "Hey, can we talk?" I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "Of course. What's up?" She replied, sounding cheerful. "Are you using my photos on Tinder?" There was a long pause. Then she laughed nervously. "What? No. Why would I do that?" "Brianna, don't lie to me," I said. "I know someone is using my pictures, and it's not a coincidence that they're using one I only sent to our family chat." She sighed. "Okay, fine. But it's not what you think." "Then what is it?" I asked, my frustration boiling over. "I was just messing around," she said defensively. "It's not like I'm actually meeting anyone. I was bored, and it's harmless." "Harmless?" I snapped. "You're pretending to be me. Do you have any idea how creepy that is?" She tried to play it off like it wasn't a big deal, but I wasn't having it. I told her to delete the profile immediately and to never, ever use my pictures again. She promised she would, but I was still furious. I couldn't believe she'd violated my trust like that. I thought that was the end of it, but of course, it wasn't. A few days later, I got a message from someone on Instagram. It was a guy I didn't recognize, and his message said, "Hey, Chloe. Why'd you ghost me?" I felt sick. I clicked on his profile, and it was clear he thought he'd been talking to me. When I explained that he'd been catfished and sent him Brianna's Tinder profile, he was understandably upset. That's when I realized she hadn't deleted it like she'd promised. This time, I didn't just confront Brianna privately. I called her out in our family group chat. "Brianna, we need to talk about the fact that you're still using my photos to catfish people," I wrote. "You promised me you'd delete the profile, but I just got a message from another guy who thought he was talking to me." The group chat exploded. My mom and aunt were confused, asking what was going on, while Brianna immediately started playing the victim. "OMG, Mia, I can't believe you'd embarrass me like this," she wrote. "It's not a big deal. I didn't actually meet anyone in person. I wasn't having it." "It is a big deal, Brianna. You're stealing my identity and putting me in uncomfortable situations. This isn't just messing around. It's wrong." That's when my aunt jumped in to defend her. "She's your cousin, Mia. Can't you cut her some slack? She didn't mean any harm." My mom, however, was on my side. "This is serious, Brianna. You owe Mia an apology and need to stop immediately." But Brianna doubled down. She accused me of blowing things out of proportion and making her look bad. She even tried to turn the family against me, saying I was being cruel and unsupportive. Now, the family is divided. Some think I was right to call her out, while others think I should have handled it privately. Brianna hasn't spoken to me since, and I've had to block a few random guys on social media who thought they were reaching out to Chloe. I feel violated, angry, and hurt. Brianna was someone I trusted, and she completely betrayed me. But part of me wonders if I went too far by exposing her in the group chat. Should I have handled it differently? Am I the a-hole for calling out my cousin for using my photos to catfish people? I don't think I'm wrong, but the family drama has me second-guessing myself. What would you do?